Welcome to another episode of our special Retail in APAC series in partnership with NRF APAC 2025. Today we are going to Korea. From chewing gum in post-war Japan to becoming a lifestyle powerhouse across Asia, few companies have shaped modern consumer cultures, quite like Lotte. What began in the 1940s as a small confectionery brand is now a retail empire with department stores, duty-free shops, hypermarkets, cinemas, hotels, and one of the region's fastest growing digital commerce platforms, Lotte On. Today, Lotte operates in over 20 countries with 10 different business lines, serving millions of customers every day across South Korea, Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, and beyond. But with that scale comes complexity and pressure to evolve. In this episode, I sit down with Sam Kim, the CEO of Lotte, to talk about what it takes to lead a retail transformation at this scale. We explore how Lotte is reinventing itself in Asia Pacific, how they are unifying physical and digital experiences, and why the future of retail may not be about stores at all, but ecosystems. Here's Paula Macadi, and this is episode 76 of my show. Welcome to OFFBounds. Sam, welcome to OFFBounds. I heard this is your first podcast interview.
Yes, Paula, thank you for making that opportunity.
Well, I watched your presentation yesterday at NRF APAC. It's very inspiring what you're doing.
Thank you.
We have an audience across 50 countries, but mostly Western. So not everybody might be familiar with the size of Lotte and exactly what you do. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Lotte Retail, how big that is, what it entails?
Sure. Lotte Retail is actually part of a Lotte Group, which is one of the top 5 conglomerates based out of Korea. It was founded in 1967, and our businesses span across, obviously, retail, but as well as confectionery and beverages, food and beverages, as well as hotels and amusement park and resorts. And then we also have an industry chemical business and infrastructure business such as construction, biologics, other things. In fact, it may be more creeping into your life than you think. I know you're based in New York. The Palace Hotel is actually Lotte Palace Hotel in New York City. So
really?
One of the big legacy hotels, right? As well as we sell confectionery, great confection products like Pepero and Choco Pie and other things. So it's all over the place. Yeah.
Very interesting. And you are the CEO of the group.
Yes, I'm the Vice Chairman and Group CEO for Lotte Retail. And Lotte Retail spans across, is the number one leading diversified retail portfolio in Korea primarily. And we have everything from premium department stores, shopping malls, outlets, as well as in grocery business. We have hypermarkets and supermarkets. We're the master franchise for 7-Eleven in Korea. In fact, we have over 13,000 7-Elevens, which makes us one of the top 3 in the world. As well as number 1 TV home shopping network, number 1 appliance stores called Highmart. And then we also have joint ventures for Korea in Uniqlo, Muji, and we also invest in some other fashion businesses, as well as into Lotte Cinema and movie productions. So it's an exceptionally big business. And in addition to Korea, we're also in Vietnam, as well as in Indonesia, and now here in Singapore. So we're continually expanding our business portfolio.
Just a little bit complex, your job, right?
It keeps on my toes and it makes it interesting. Absolutely.
Yeah, and you have an interesting career. You worked all over the world and you assumed the role of CEO in 2022.
Yes.
And I'm curious, what made you say yes to this big challenge?
Yeah, no. Well, like many companies during COVID, Lotte also faced some of the challenges from, obviously, given some of the unusual circumstances we had. But it was also because there were a lot of shifting customer habits, and our chairman felt that Lotte Retail needed some transformation to really address and meet customers' needs better. And so I was given the opportunity to come in, and it's an exceptional opportunity for someone like myself who sees that we have a phenomenal brands. Our banners are great. We're number 1 in most of the formats that we compete in. And yet, I think there was an opportunity to create better synergy and scale as well as make it more destinational experience for our customers. So this is my 4th year, and I really enjoy the challenge. But more importantly, I'm really glad to see that the customers are now enjoying their experience, and they're sharing their time and obviously spending with us. So it's been a great thing.
But how, okay, so there was a whole digital transformation that you had to go through.
Yeah.
And, well, with the scale that Lotte has, I'm
Right.
sure it's not that obvious,
Yeah.
right? Like, how was it when you got there, and what did you see that needed to change?
Paula, to be clear, the transformation we're doing is probably beyond digital, but I'll talk about that as well, because obviously Korea is one of the most advanced countries when it comes to digital technology. Really, any transformation that I have had the opportunity to work on starts with the organization first, because I think we have to create a common vision. And in fact, when you have such a diversified portfolio, where we're selling everything from luxury to to lettuce and chicken legs, you really need to ensure that we have a common purpose and vision that everybody can aspire to. So we work together as an organization through workshops to create a vision of becoming the customer's #1 shopping destination. Irregardless of what they're thinking about, we offer retail formats both online and offline, and therefore we want to be your first choice when it comes to shopping. With that in mind, then we have to really think about then what are the capabilities and the changes in ways that we work that can address and meet that vision. And so those are some of the things that we have really worked hard on. Second of all, I think it would also require us to really do an introspective look at our fundamentals to say, where are the places where we must really get better so that we're better meeting the customers' needs and wants. And for example, in our grocery business, we had a major initiative to improve the quality and the range of our fresh products, because obviously when it comes to shopping, food comes first. And so that was one opportunity.
That's one thing that we can avoid.
Yeah. And then when it came to our shopping malls and department stores, so we really looked at our opportunity to bring more excitement and more choices, particularly with the rise of K-beauty and K-fashion. We work closely with some of the young trendsetters as well as brands to bring new assortment into our stores. And of course, online, we also then worked on various different opportunities. In fact, as you mentioned, digital transformation. One of the key areas, obviously, was to be in the forefront of bringing AI technology, and we did that with Ocado Solutions, which is the #1 e-grocery provider out of UK, and where we are committed to building probably the most advanced robotics and AI smart platforms in our central fulfillment houses, as well as in our app.
Automated.
Smart,
yeah.
We're also using our AI technology to create shopper agents. So we have one of the biggest and destination for wines and liquor in Korea in our bottle bunker, and we're actually providing AI sommelier services with appliances, which can be quite confusing. At our #1 appliance make retail at Highmart, we're now building a AI shopping agent to help you shop. The third area, which is also important to us from a transformation standpoint, is our portfolio. Really looking at what we had. In some cases, we had to optimize our store network. We have over 14,000 physical stores because of our 7-Eleven franchise. We had to look at how can we better serve customers, as well as we also looked at the opportunities to go expand beyond Korea. We have a very strong foundation in both Vietnam and Indonesia, but we knew that as we had a lot to offer, we could bring that to more customers around the world. And so we're now in dozen plus countries with our private label brands, and then we're also in the process of building or investing our retail formats or in those countries as well.
That's very interesting. And there were so many layers to that.
Yeah.
How
keeps me busy.
Yeah, I'm sure. You mentioned that Korea is very digitized, right? Like consumers expect to have that. How was that for like a physical first retailer to engage with this digital first? Or I wouldn't say digital first, but very digitalized population.
Just for your listeners, I don't know if they're aware, but Korea is the first country now to go across 50% in e-commerce shopping. So for Koreans, I don't think I tell my organization that there is no more online or offline. There is no line. Customers shop any way they please. Out of convenience with their mobile. or if they're walking the streets and they can pop into our 7-Eleven stores, or if they're more serious about their fashion shopping, then they'll go into our malls and department stores. And of course, for groceries and looking at fresh and maybe what to put on their dinner tonight, they'll go into our groceries. So I think it's really important to, whether it's offline or online, it's all about customer insights, customer needs, and customer wants. And that's what we start with. I think of whether it is offline stores or online is actually how we deliver those benefits, but it's not about whether we do one here and the other there. So I always constantly ensure that we have the best customer insights to start with.
So data is very important.
Absolutely. And in fact, we're very lucky because at Lotte, we have a unified membership program across all our, not only our retail, but also for our hotels and amusement parks and even Lotteria, which is our really fast food place. And we have our coffee shop in Angelina's. They all
so if I'm a member, I can get benefits
absolutely.
from using all facilities.
In fact, just as a fact, we have 43 million members in our loyalty program, and there's only 50 million people living in Korea. So if you're old enough to know how to spend money, you're our member. And that gives us a great insight as to customer trends, what customers wants, and then, leveraging that data, then to actually serve our customers better. So, I think the AI particularly is helping us to power those analytics and do even a better job in meeting customers' needs so that we can continue to be the number one destination.
And how are you using these AI capabilities? Is that, I'm sure there's the warehouse, the supply chain, but how is that with the consumer facing?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, one of the big areas is becoming AI shopping agents.
So
true. The sommeliers or so not. But the other area also is in terms of, and it's not unique to Korea, but in fact very prevalent in the U.S. and with other retailers, is a retail media network. So really providing you with actually advertising from our suppliers and partners that you may want to see and whatever is thrown at you. And I think that's really helpful because then it helps you make better shopping decisions rather than having to just sit through commercials that you may not want to see. So,
and you have such a big customer base, right? From all ages. So you have to curate what is more relevant.
Right. So those curations are, as we work with our suppliers, can actually then meet both needs, right? Connecting our suppliers, our CPG companies or fashion brands better with our customers. And from our customer standpoint, then having a better opportunity to meet the needs that the customers want. So,
yeah, and Lotte On is the specific online platform for all the Lotte group, or how does?
No, so actually that's a great question, Paula. We have actually, for example, Lotte department store would have its own e-commerce platform because if you're a fashionista or if you're a beauty person, then you may want to go there and take a look. For people that are shopping in our groceries, we have an app called Zeta that is actually a smart AI-based platform so that the people can actually help you with your shopping habits. Shopping carts, and then our appliance store will have its own e-commerce platform. Lotte On is actually probably does 2 or 3 things that are very specific. One is that by nature it serves our younger customers better because it's developed more in line as a online platform from the beginning. So it actually has attracted a very good following among our young customers, particularly in the areas of what I would call up and rising brands in beauty and fashion that may not be in our malls or department stores yet. But, if you're in the know that you may be looking for it, that's one area. Second thing is that it actually serves as a gateway for all the different Lotte, not only retail brands, but some of the other brands, as I mentioned. For example, if you want to get special tickets or discounted tickets to our movie theaters or to our hotel rooms, that's available. Lotte Group also owns one of the top 3 ranked baseball team right now in Korea, professional baseball team. And it's really exciting. I think we might finally see them in the playoffs this year. And of course, then you can get the goods from our Lotte Giants team only from Lotte On. So it kind of serves as what we call gateway of connecting all the different B2C brands and banners that we have through Lotte On. So and that does a great job. And of course, as an online platform, it is also working on probably one of the most forefront AI-based or digital-based technology initiatives that we can then learn from here, and then spread it across all the other retail banners.
Impressive. There's so much to learn from about Korea for me. Like it's still,
come and
I
visit.
still get, I will for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe after Singapore, I should just buy a ticket and go.
Yeah.
But I know that you mentioned, and I'm interested. Like when we are talking about APAC, it's so diverse, but there are very good opportunities of growth, especially in Southeast Asia. Which is where you've been investing. What's the long-term vision for the region, and how do you localize for these markets?
Yeah. In fact, the two countries that we're currently very much invested in, which is Vietnam and Indonesia. First of all, you have a very young, large population. I think it's in their early 30s. So, and it's a growing population, and it's also a growing economy. People's living standards are getting higher, and they are aspiring to higher quality and global brands that they may not have had exposure to before. And there's a lot of thirst and demand for brands. And in particular, even in New York, as you know, everything Korean these days is really hot. You know, whether it's K-drama or beauty.
I can say that my mom in Brazil, she only watches Korean drama.
Okay,
so,
maybe there's an opportunity
it's a global thing.
Yeah, maybe there's an opportunity for us in Brazil. But as a result, I think they're really excited for our Lotte Mart and also our Lotte shopping mall to come in and offering, exposing them and helping them try those products. And I think while we certainly need to do our best in terms of meeting local needs as well, and we certainly do that, but then we have the added plus of bringing what's most popular and demanded around the region today. So. Again, we leverage our private labels as well as we work with Korean suppliers to bring those new products and new merchandising and services, and that has been well received. As I mentioned before, we just opened our first Lotte Mart Express as a shopping shop here in Vivo City in Singapore. For your listeners, Vivo City is the biggest shopping mall in Singapore, so that has gone off really well, and we're working with #1 Singapore retailer FairPrice. And we're distributing our own brands in over 120 of their supermarkets. And again, we'll continue to see, have an opportunity to bring more stores here in Singapore as well. So, we'll then continue to look across Asia. Right now, we're also exporting our private label in a dozen more countries, including Hong Kong, Mongolia, and other countries like that.
It's private label for food?
Food mostly, but also good value products. So we don't only work on food, although that is where we're most passionate about, but also just in terms of non-food products, so where we can actually, with our scale, bring better value and quality to our customers from different countries.
What I find fascinating about what you said is that there is this boom of Korean culture around the world, right? How that is driving demand for its products. So I guess Lotte can exploit a lot of these opportunities of how much my beauty counter. Everything that I have is pretty much Korean at this point.
It's been amazing how that has really gone. In fact, I think as I was reviewing the business, last year alone, I think there were over $10 billion exported of Korean beauty products and over $14 billion of food product, K-food so-called, around the world. So, I think, I'm really glad to see as a Korean of how popular our products and services are becoming. And, we hope to continue to
and the culture too. I think there's more and more Korean restaurants opening around the world. Korea is taking it.
I wish I was born 30 years, I was 30 years younger. I think there'd be probably even more opportunities. But anyway,
But I think like the scale and the size of your challenges are very impressive. And like, that's the part of where I'm very interested is you have 10 different businesses that you operate. How do you maintain, how do you drive innovation and transformation across all of them, and how do you maintain
Right.
this feeling and this pursuit of innovation across so many verticals?
Well, that is my singular biggest challenge on daily basis, and it's a great question. I think it always has to start with a common vision, because if everybody wants to do different things, then it's really, really difficult to get the synergy and scale required, particularly when it comes to innovation investments. So we start, as I mentioned before, with a common vision of becoming the number one shopping destination for our customers. And then that's what we want to do. Then it's then up to each of the business units to figure out how to do that. And in that sense, I think one of the things that I'm trying to instill on people is that, shopping is beyond transactions now. I think when in the so-called older days, particularly before online, retail was all about selling. And I tell people that the definition of retail is no longer about selling, actually, because customers have way too many choices on how to buy things, right? I mean, we can be sitting here and we can shop from, Amazon in the US, or maybe you can shop from Brazil, and I can
buy
shop
Korean products.
Yeah, I can buy Korean products sitting here. So, as I said, there's no more online, offline, and frankly, there's not even with cross-border shopping available, there's not even local versus foreign anymore. Everything is at your fingertips almost. And as a result, I think what we focus on, regardless whether it's for our department stores or whether it's appliance stores or TV home shopping or online or our 7-Eleven convenience stores, it's become all about shopping experience. So how do I create that experience? And that means creating relationship with customers that goes beyond just selling them products. And in fact, making Lotte a place where they want to buy products and buy services from us. And so we look at environment first, whether it's particularly obviously with over 14,000 stores, we need to make sure we have the best physical environment, but we also want to ensure that our digital environment is also very customer friendly with our UI UX. And that's where I've been making our AI investment. Second thing is it's all about enhancements, and I think one of the things that's really exciting, if you have a chance to come and visit us in Korea, is that we offer a lot of unique pop-up stores, so that when you come, it's not always the same stores, but you have an opportunity to get exposed to new merchandising, new to the world, new trends. We also offer entertainment in that sense. So we had Tom Cruise in town a few weeks ago, because through our Lotte Cinema, we have an exclusive deal with Paramount. So he came to do the red carpet for his last Mission
So it's
Impossible.
like these events
Right.
that you created.
So,
Okay.
Attracted, literally tens of thousands of people to come to see Tom Cruise and have a chance to see the premiere at our movie theaters first. And then I think it's all about, enhancements in terms of, so we have experience, environment, and then also it's about enhancements of services. For our top customers, top loyalty customers and top shoppers, we have a VIP service, everything from a concierge, we have a valet parking when you come to our department stores, to VIP lounges and gifts and things, so that we can constantly keep up with our customer to keep them excited, and also ensure that they're passionate about shopping at Lotte.
So Lotte, as you describe, is less of the traditional retail that we have in mind, right? Like it's almost like an ecosystem, a lifestyle ecosystem. How do you see that changing retail?
Yeah, well, I think that's a really insightful comment. I think as I mentioned, it's not just about selling anymore. I think, but in the end, actually, that is the crux of what retail do, right? So we need to constantly ensure that we're offering the best quality, value, and service and locations, so that you're there in the foundation of anything they want to do. But that needs to go broader than just transactions. So to your point, it becomes, how do I ensure that we surround them in everything that they want to do? In fact, to that point, most recently last year, we launched a new shopping, I guess you can call it shopping mall concept called Time Villas, so where time stands still. And what we're doing is to blending a traditional department store with shopping mall, and sometimes even with outlets, so that the customers have best of everything. So they get the exclusive luxury brands that you might find in department stores. They don't even know when they're moving from department store to a shopping mall, but it's all blended. They can go out and find more trendy, younger merchandising products. And we also provide the best food and beverage services and food courts. And in fact, we work a lot of times with top chefs from the country and beyond, so that actually we can bring one-of-a-kind restaurants to these environments. And again, so it's not just shopping they're looking forward to, but come and having, when they get hungry after walking around our malls and have a chance to sit down for a really great meal.
I can't speak for the Korean consumers, but I think like one thing that I'm seeing around the world is almost like digital fatigue.
Right.
Like we are so connected that we miss the physical experience too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think like that's what the experience and the ecosystem that you're building makes sense, because then like we want to hang out with each other.
Right.
We need the places to do so.
Absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. And I think that's why, you could argue it's already 50% e-commerce, isn't going to get higher. It might, but we have also seen the growth rate of that slowing down. But to your point, there are certain things that, obviously digital is not going to solve everything, right? I mean, we have our five senses and we want to be stimulated in all our senses. So we want to make sure that we want to create those environments and enhancements that provides best shopping experience and not just shopping. So that's what we're trying to do. And
you being a leader of such a large conglomerate and seeing Asia as you do, like especially with your worldview, how do you see the future of retail for, like, let's say 10 years from now, 2035?
I think I've done this long enough to know that I can't predict anything 10 years out. I think that would be...
we never know if there's a new technology that will shift.
That's right. I tell people that, as prevalent as AI is now, 3 years ago, no one was talking outside of maybe the tech sector. It wasn't even a language. So I think, I wouldn't want to have a tangible prediction for what happens 10 years from now. But one thing that is clear is that customers or consumers' demands and standards are getting higher and higher. We do know that the Gen AI will actually also make that they'll have more insights, they'll have more knowledge, and it'll become even choiceful in the way they shop, and they want shopping experience. So one thing that is clear, whether it's now or 10 years later, is that we need to continue to invest in understanding and learning about customers. That customer insight, being agile to actually respond and drive customer behavior changes and customer needs will be probably the most important thing. And so, I think having a little bit of, as they say, a little bit of paranoia is a good thing, because you don't want to ever sit on your laurels and think that you have it all made, and that just because we're number one doesn't mean that we'll stay number one forever. So I think one of the things that we're driving at Lotte is that ensuring that we invest in understanding customers. We invest in learning about their needs and wants better than everybody else, and we invest in ensuring that we're their number one destination by constantly trying new things. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
Very good. And you're right. Like we've seen many brands being the first and getting comfortable there, right? Like I think, to your point, is never be comfortable. Just like keep improving. And now I want to learn more from you. Like I'm sure this transformation has been like that, probably will never end, right? Like you're always transforming, but going from where you were to where you will be, I'm sure you needed a lot of reinvention, resilience, trying things. What was the personal lesson that you learned in leadership driving this transformation?
It's been exceptionally challenging and gratifying, particularly having the privilege to work in a group that is so diverse and that is at such a scale as Lotte Retail. I would say probably my number one lesson that I live by is the fact that I'm probably the last one to know things that I have to continue to learn. The minute I think that I have all the answers is probably the day that I probably don't. So keeping my ears and eyes open, maybe sounds repetitive, but as busy as my schedules are, there's never 2 weeks that go by where I don't go out to stores. And sometimes I surf the online just to see how we're doing as well. But I think it's really, really important to have that feet on the ground and the pulse on the business by physically being there and observing our customers and talking to our frontline team members to see how they are helping customers, or sometimes, what complaints or what issues they have, so that I can listen and understand what we can do better. So, probably the biggest lesson is the fact that, stay connected, not just digitally, but stay connected to the ground, and make sure that we keep learning so that we can do a better job.
And I do encourage your team to do the same. Go to the stores.
Oh, they better. They're out there. I think they know better. But in fact, I think when I was in a more operational job than now, I don't have that opportunity. But when we promoted new store managers, I gave a pair of shoes as a prize, as a reward, because I said, you're going to wear yours out very quickly, and that's what I like to see. I think everybody knows that at Lotte that getting closer to customers is our number one priority.
Very good. And you've worked all over the world. How many countries have you?
Oh, I don't know. It's countless. I love the fact that we can bring our Lotte brand and exposure to our great products and banners everywhere. So, pretty much.
Yeah, but you're a very global professional. I'm sure you've experienced different cultures,
Yes.
experienced different ways of doing business. My audience are mostly in the West.
Yes.
And I'm here in Asia exactly to bring the perspective of this region to them. For our listeners, you lived in the West as well, so
Sure,
you know.
Of course.
Yeah. Why did you say that the West could learn from the East?
First of all, I think we can learn from each other, right? That point about learning about customers, I make frequent trips to the U.S. and Europe. In fact, next week I'll be in Amsterdam for the Consumer Goods Forum, but also just to go around and seeing stores again. So there's a great number of things that we can learn, certainly from the West, so-called West, as well as East. I'm sure I'll end up making a gross generalization where your listeners will object to, but I'll try it anyway since you asked. Is that a gross generalization probably that I would make is that I tend to see probably that the retailers out here are more concerned about it. Certainly us at Lotte and some of my other retailers I see in creating relationship with customers as opposed to transactions. I think, especially when I was working in US or whatnot, I think we are certainly both East and West retailers all focus on delivering the revenue and delivering the bottom line. But the way we go about it, I think out here we're probably more relationship driven, that, we really court for loyalty. We really court to ensure that the customers stay with us, perhaps sometimes more so than what happens, but I'm
in a
sure
lifetime.
Yeah, but I'm sure you'll get lots of comments that I'm wrong. So, but that's been my observation, particularly in the recent past.
That's your perspective, your point of view. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Sam, it was great talking to you. It was wonderful watching your presentation. I felt you were very human, and here talking to me, I feel like it comes from your heart. This is not a corporate script. Like you're really, this is really how you think.
I think I've discovered or I've learned over the years that particularly when the business that we're in, and I think your podcast is great, covering a lot of the retailers, and as I said, I have a chance to listen to a few before the show just to do my homework, but I think it's really important for retail and as I've learned in retailers that it's a tough work, right? Because our margins are very thin in general, and you can't really have a way to leverage or exploit certain products only, and therefore that you have to really work hard to be close to our customers and make sure that we become their favorite destination, and so. That's what keeps me driving, and I think that's what I've been trying to do with our organization.
I really appreciate the time. I know that you have a busy schedule, so it means a lot that you came here to share your perspective, share Lotte to our audience, and I hope to see you soon, probably in Korea.
Okay, great. Thank you, Paula. And, yes, we would love to have you. You can come and stay at the Lotte Hotel and shop at Lotte shopping malls
Lotte,
and Mart.
yes.
And then have some.
I would drink Lotte.
That's right.
Drinks,
Yeah,
everything.
you can be at Lotteria for our hamburgers and so forth. So it'd be great to see. Okay.
I'm ready.
Okay, great. Thanks
All
a lot.
right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Sam King leads one of the Asia's biggest retail groups, and yet, what stood out the most wasn't scale, it was clarity. Here are my top takeaways from our conversation. 1. Transformation doesn't start with tech, it starts with vision. Sam aligned Lotte's entire portfolio from luxury malls to convenience stores around one goal, becoming the customer's first choice. 2. In Korea, there is no online or offline, there's just shopping. Consumers move seamlessly across channels, and retailers like Lotte are meeting them wherever they are. 3. AI isn't a buzzword at Lotte, it's built in. From robotic fulfillment centers to AI-powered sommeliers, they are using tech to enhance and not replace the customer experience. And 4. Sam's leadership mantra: the moment I think I know everything is probably the moment I don't. That humility at the scale he operates is rare and powerful. Next week, we'll talk about India with an exclusive interview with Nandita Sinha, the CEO of Myntra, India's largest e-commerce stores for fashion and lifestyle products. See you next Tuesday.